John Loudermilk. He is with the Maryville Church of God. He's going to lead us in the prayer and in the pledge to the flag. Brother John, come on up.
Let's bow our heads together, please. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you in the name of the one whom you have highly exalted. Name which is above every name, that at that name every knee should bow, the things in heaven, things in the earth, and things under the earth, that every tongue should confess the mighty name of Jesus. Thanking you and praising you for our great nation. I thank you for the plan that you gave to our forefathers by which to govern our nation, states, counties, cities, and for the division of powers. Your word exhorts us, therefore, that first of all supplications and prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings, and for all that are in authority. In praying for those in authority, I therefore lift up Judge Roberts and the officers of this governing body to you. I pray that by your holy power that you give them wisdom to make decisions that would strengthen and prosper our county. I pray that they would make right decisions concerning the politics, the social welfare, the economics of our county. And I pray that they will be motivated by your hand. And I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Will you join me in prayer?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Brother John. Brother Loudermilk. And your wife for being here. I very much appreciate that. Okay, on your agenda, we're down to number 4, presentation and approval of bills. Magistrates, in your packet are the bills as presented by the Judge Executive Office. And all we need is action. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion concerning the motion? And Ms. Randy may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook? Judge Roberts?
Yes. Okay, and the bills as presented by Ms. Sharp, our treasurer. Ms. Sharp?
I have sent you your packet, bill savings for September the 8th, September the 22nd, October the 2nd, and October the 7th.
Any questions concerning these bills? If not, action is requested. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? And Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Short. Number 5 on our agenda, approval of the minutes from September 16, 2014.
I checked them and I don't see any mistakes, so I make a motion to accept the minutes as they are.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcroft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes. Next on our presentation, we have Mr. Jim Cuno with the Little Water Company. He's going to talk to us about an idea which is entitled Bullitt County Fiscal Court Water Main Extension Assistance Program. Good morning,
Good
Jim.
morning. Judge Roberts chairs, and I'm a member of the Bullitt County Water Management Council. We meet quarterly, and it's composed of all the utilities, water and wastewater utilities in the county, and it's part of the water supply plan. We meet quarterly, and I guess recently we've noticed in our meetings that we've all acknowledged the high cost of water main extensions in the county, the lack of grant funding for these water main extensions. You know, the state government, a lot of those funding mechanisms have just literally dried up. And the typical water main extension costs between $10,000 and $20,000 per customer, and some are much higher than that. Working collaboratively with Judge Roberts, as well as the rest of the Water Management Council, we developed a proposed Bullitt County Fiscal Court Water Main Extension Assistance Program. Maybe we come up with an acronym or something that significantly simplifies that, but that's what it's called right now, and because it's very descriptive. And it would provide financial assistance to residents participating in water main extensions. And the idea, I guess, is that this program could be funded from various sources of funding as they become available. And one initial source of funding could be the upcoming payment by the local water company of $23,500 for the water tank site at Highway 245. This money could be directed into this program, which provide vouchers, let's say $1,000, to residents on a first-come, first-served basis, subject to availability of funds, and can be used to help pay for the water main extension. So we were proposing that the Bullitt County Judge Executive Office would be the administrator of this program. And kind of how it would work is that residents would make application to fiscal court to the program, and then vouchers could be issued to those residents up to available funding, and that they'd be good for 1 year. And then that voucher could be forwarded by the resident to the utility as partial payment for the water main extension. The utility could forward the voucher back to Bullitt County Fiscal Court, who could then send a check then to the utility. So there wouldn't actually be cash transferred to the resident. They have a voucher. They could then redeem that voucher, give it to the utility. The utility could then give it back to the Judge Executive's office, who could write a check then for that amount of money. So to make sure it would go for the water main extension, essentially. The Judge Executive's office could keep a ledger that would show the voucher requests that have been made, payments have been made, and the program balance. They could kind of administer that program itself. And I'm proposing that this program be available to all Bullitt County residents, and that would live on public roads in Bullitt County, and would be available to all utilities serving Bullitt County as well, all the water utilities, which there's Lebanon Junction, there's a little water company, there's also North Nelson Water District, and the city of Mount Washington. So those would be the different utilities that would be affected by this. And then additional sources of funding could be contributed to this program that become identified. So I guess first what I want to do today was just kind of roll out this concept to you all. And so I see the next steps being, if fiscal court's interested in this, is that I propose that we get constructive feedback from you all, as well as I'd like to take this to the other utilities in Bullitt County. North Nelson and Lebanon Junction did attend our water management council meeting, and roll this idea out to them, get feedback from them, and kind of firm up the overall framework for this program and the mechanics of how it works. But that's the general concept. Could I answer any questions, or is that clear what we're proposing?
Well, several people in my district have brought to my attention that when we get our water bills, there's a fee on there, and I think you and I have talked about that before, that perhaps on those water bills, there should be an amount left owed that we're paying for when we get our water bills. And if that's not going to happen, it looks to me as if maybe that could take care of this to the tune of the $23,500.
Well, I guess, let me clarify what is on the water bill in KT, former KT District Number 1, which is north of the Salt River. There was a $6 surcharge at the time the Little Water Company merged with the Water District back in 1999. And part of that agreement was that amount would continue, and that helped pay for the Bullitt County Extension Program. There was a 10-year program that provided water main extensions to the county, and that's what I went back to the fiscal court then in 2012, I believe, and rolled out the idea there is that we have roughly $10 million of debt from that program. That surcharge goes to pay for that, but we agreed that would cease to be implemented in January 1st, 2017. So, that $6 surcharge will go away in January 1st, 2017. Now,
Well, I looked at mine, and it looks like mine is like maybe $14 or something to that effect. Because I know I've looked at them and.
Well, don't be confused with, there also is a service charge that is the cost for reading the meter, preparing the bill, sending the bill, and that typically we bill every 2 months. So, you gotta divide that in half per month. But there also is a $6 surcharge on your bill per month for essentially continuing to pay off the Bullitt County Extension Program. But this would be something separate from that. And what the real problem is the source of funding for these types of programs. Because a lot of these main extensions, like on Kings Hollow, Roll Hill, Kerr, there's a handful of those projects in the little water company area that didn't pursue the 2/3 majority petition method in the Bullitt County Extension Program when it was available. So now there isn't a program for them. And what they find is that cost is prohibitive. And we see that in Mount Washington too. I think Halls Lane has come to our group and talked to us about wanting to get water. The cost is in the low $20,000 range for them to get water. That's through Mount Washington. And quickly becomes unaffordable. So one of the ideas is how can we help that? There aren't many grant sources from the state government. There was 10 years ago, but there isn't any longer. And we're trying to come up with an idea that can maybe provide some hope, some assistance to those residents wanting to get water, potable water, which we all know is essential for life and good health. And so this was a concept that might provide a mechanism for at least funds as they become available to be put into this program and could be help to subsidize these water main extensions. So,
Has this got something to do with that thing out there off of 65 that you all are putting in,
well,
the power?
I was proposing that we're be closing soon on the property at Highway 245, right next to the animal shelter, for the purchase of that land for a water tank. So that's right adjacent to I-65 at Highway 245. And so that's going to be a payment that comes to Bullitt County Fiscal Court, $23,500, I believe. So that money could be earmarked for this program, or of course it could be, I'm sure you have lots of competing interests for all the sources of funding for county government. And we're throwing out this idea as a way that could be used for water projects.
Well, I heard you mention Mount Washington, but Mount Washington has their own water. As a matter of fact, that's why Halls Lane's up in arms, is because they stopped. Mount Washington did at a certain point, and then on back in there, they don't have any.
That's right. So it's just like Roll Hill Road that doesn't have water either.
Right.
That if they want to get a water main extension, they have to go through the process of basically paying for that water main extension, which is very expensive.
I knew there wasn't any money available because I checked.
Yes. So, this would likewise be eligible to those people in Mount Washington as well, to utilize for all the citizens of Bullitt County that reside on public roads could utilize this assistance program to help fund a water main extension. So, if that's pretty well the program, and I'll give you a little write-up of that, of the concept. If you're interested, I could pursue this by, continuing to seek input. Likewise, talking to Lebanon Junction to inform them of the idea, get their feedback, see how it would work for them, as well as North Nelson. I think we already have. We've informed Ronnie Fick with Mount Washington about the program, and that would cover the utilities that serve water in the county then. And from that, we could tweak this in any way. Some of these things are subject to modification, how much money that assistance would be per person. Obviously, the more you give each one with the limited funds, the fewer people you can help. So it's a judgment call about how much money would we want to make that assistance program.
I don't think, even if we do this, I don't believe people on Road Hill or, what was the other one you mentioned? I'm
Well,
sorry.
there's Kerr, Perkins, there's a few, Weird Road is one that doesn't have water.
Well, I'm not sure that even people on Road Hill would even be able to, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Come up with the amount of money that it would cost them to get water. That was their problem when I talked to them.
Right, it still might not be enough for everybody, but for somebody that's close, it might make a difference. Or if we can get more funding, maybe, it could be $2,000 per residence, and start getting to be a more substantial amount that could maybe help them make that decision. One thing that Little Water Company offers, just incidentally, I mentioned this opportunity is, we only require 2/3 of the residents on the road to participate, and that we will finance it at 5% interest for 20 years. So that helps a lot of people make it more affordable. They can pay as they go, and don't have to come up with that large lump sum right up front. So sometimes that makes it more affordable if you can, you're usually paying water to get it somewhere, whether you're having somebody haul water for you, or you're going and buying water separately and hauling it yourself.
Do we have to vote on this today?
No,
Oh.
it's just something I wanted to roll out to you, get feedback, and decide, if that's something we should pursue, if you're interested in this, if Fiscal Court's interested in this. It's an idea that we brainstormed together with the judge in our Bullitt County Water Management Council meetings, trying to come up with a way to help roads, like Paul's Lane was the one that kind of brought it to the head, where residents came to our meeting, wanting to get water, trying to find help, and there really isn't a lot of help out there for them. It's $20,000+ per customer, which is affordable for a large segment of the population. It's just too much money, so they go that way.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jim. For my clarification, do we want Jim to talk to other utilities? I think it's a good idea to at least research this program, or do some research with the other utilities, see if they would be interested. I do have people wanting water. They do come to my office asking for water lines. Excuse me. But I need the direction from the court as to if you all want Jim to pursue this.
I would like to just talk around in my district and see what I get as far as input from them before we do this.
The other guys.
And the other matches.
Okay. All right, thank you, Jim. Presentation number 2, this is for Captain Mike Murdoch. Is he here? There he is. Good morning, Captain Murdoch. He is from the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office, and he's talking about AED placements. Good morning.
Good morning. As you all know, the AEDs were purchased last year to be placed in numerous county buildings for safety and in case anyone does have a heart attack. As we were replacing the AOC building, the Judicial Center across the street, we found out that the AOC did not want their staff using the AEDs. They are easily used. An 8-year-old can use it. It goes through and tells you everything to do. There's no liability to it. It actually will not shock anybody unless it knows it can shock them. You don't push any buttons. The old ones used to push a button and you took that liability on. Now you don't take that liability anymore. But going through there, we found out we only really need the one in that building. It stays in our control room. Anytime that building's open, we have one of our sheriff deputies inside there, is inside our washing and control room. If someone calls for AED, we take the AED to that floor and administer what needs done up there until EMS arrives. But during that discussion, I was talking to Director Gardner, and we were talking about the 2 extra AEDs and was wondering what we should do with them. Obviously, we could present to the court to figure out what you all want to do with them. He gave a recommendation of putting one in the multi-purpose community action agency down the road. Obviously, it's a senior center, but it is a county building, so I think that's an excellent idea. And then Director Phillips mentioned also possibly placing one at the jail with the amount of inmates and the amount of workers there. I think it's also an excellent idea, but obviously that's the court on what you all want me to do with the other 2 AEDs. We've made sure through our agency, we've taken on the responsibility of making sure that they're up to date and that the batteries are charged. I'm going around every 45 to 60 days and verifying that they're in working order. And we'll continue to do that if they're placed at other locations also. And also we'll provide training through our agency. We have a CPR trained person that can, or trainer that can train anybody that wants AED training or CPR training. We'll provide that to either the jail or the staff community action agency. So whatever you all decide to do, we'll make sure you play.
I think we can take action today if possible. So,
it's fantastic for the seniors. I mean, you just never know about, I think it'd be a wonderful place for them, for one of those, senior center. Is there one?
You have a reservation for jail?
Yeah. I make a motion to put, what is it called? AED in the senior center and also the detention center.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Captain Murdoch. Next, we have the Honorable Eric Ferris with the Bullitt County Board of Education to request action on a Bullitt County High School deed of connection. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, thanks for that, honorable judge. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, I'm going to try to make a very long and boring story short for you. As you know, Bullitt Central is undergoing some revisions and new construction. Part of that involves a new Louisville water company main, and thanks to the sharp eyes of Mr. Cornell's colleagues, they noted that the Bullitt Central campus property is still in the name of Bullitt County. The reason that is, back years ago, in order to issue, make bond issues to finance construction, the Board of Education, which cannot have an obligation beyond 1 year at a time, transferred these school properties to the county to allow the bond issues to be floated, and then at the end of the bond obligation, the properties were moved back to the county, back to the board, excuse me. Since then, there's a new process that allows the boards of education to have a school district finance corporation that satisfies that requirement. But once again, this property never got moved over. So what we have done is isolated the description for Bullitt Central. And since we didn't think that the fiscal court wanted to run Bullitt Central High School, what we're trying to do is to correct a previous problem that goes back to 1977 actually, and move this over to the Board of Education by a deed that we have tendered. It's been reviewed by the county attorney, and also from the Board of Education over to the School District Finance Corporation. This deed was put together with the assistance of bond counsel, who actually missed that way back in the day before I even started practicing. But we've also talked, communicated with the county attorney's office about executing a release that would take care of the county as far as any liability that could have or would have occurred during the time that it was actually held in the name of the county. And the board would be trying to execute that as soon as we get it back.
I would have a couple things to add here to make sure that I have this.
Sure.
You said 1977. The copies I have is 1969. Is that, I mean, is there something that happened in 77 we don't have a copy of?
No, well, in 77 is when the other properties, Roby and the central
Right.
office were moved back. And that's when things should have happened.
Right.
The 69 is the
It's
source.
our original.
Yes.
Okay. As I briefly talked to you all about this, where it needs to be corrected, he had concerns and had drafted, and I gave it all this morning, a release of general liability. This has been more than 45 years, I guess, right at it, that this has been outstanding. The only other concern we have is not the format of the deed that's been provided, but I think that we should look into putting quit claim at the top. And the reason for that is, just putting deed on there gives the implication that you're granting certain warranties to title, okay, warranties of liability. A quit claim means if we own it, it's yours, you can have it now, but if we don't, then you gotta figure out why, okay? It makes us not liable for anything. This is a 45-year situation. Unless we want to do a full title exam and go through everything that's on there, I think just to put the word quit claim, I think they could vote on that today. Add that to the top, and it would take care of any liability concerns that we have.
action is requested.
Please, yes. We'll get this. We'll take care of the reporting.
And on the condition, that vote needs to be on the condition that the school board sign off on that.
Motion to do a deed of correction for Bullitt County High School.
A quick one, please.
A quick one.
We are looking for college property, so.
We have a motion on the floor, do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, we'll let Ms. Brandon read the motion.
The motion, oh, sorry.
Make sure it's clear.
The motion is to approve a quitclaim deed of correction for Bullitt Central High School. And did you want on the condition that the school board signs off on said deed?
Yes.
Well, either they sign off on the release of claim.
Oh.
Mr. Ferris has gave his word, but they still need to vote on it.
Ms. Brandon?
Yes. The motion is to approve a quitclaim deed of correction for Bullitt Central High School on the condition that the school board signs off on the release of claim.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on this motion? And Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you all very much. We'll get that.
Well, you'll have that in an hour. Unless we add that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Now, the next thing is not on the agenda, but this is a really exciting program that Bullitt County started. And we have the executive director of Kentucky Works, Michael Britton, who is here right now. And he's going to give us an update on the program. It's called Summer Work Program, but we're renaming it unofficially the Four Seasons Program. And music can be provided.
Oh,
Four Seasons. Thank you, Michael, for being here. You can introduce your staff too, or employees with the
Judge, thank you, and I promise you asked me to keep this short, so I promise I will, but we're very excited. Remember, I'm the executive director of Kentucky Works, which is the Workforce Investment Board for the 7-county region. And we are responsible for the Kentucky Career Center, one exit down the highway where the community college is, which is run for us by Rest Care. We run the Youth Career Center there, which is run for us by Jennifer Welch of Goodwill, who's sitting over here. Jennifer, raise your hand. And last spring, thanks to the leadership of the judge, and then obviously of the court as well, you all gave us money to hire a full-time staff person, Jennifer Harris, who works for Goodwill and is in Bullitt County all day long trying to plug young people into summer jobs, and specifically trying to plug low-income kids or kids that may have dropped out of high school into summer jobs. We pledged to you last spring that we would try to place 40 kids in the summer, and that was a big lift for us because we got a late start. But you'll see in this report that we did in fact place 41 of those kids in summer jobs in this last summer, which we're thrilled about. Another 10 kids that we had worked with to prepare actually found jobs on their own, so the real number is 51. And then what you see at the bottom of the chart, we talk about indirect placements because as we get these companies to sign on to become partners of ours and of yours, they also give us data about the sum total of 16 to 21-year-olds that they hire, and we count anybody that didn't come through our program, get prepped by us, or that isn't low income and still getting hired as part of that total number. So, Judge, we very much appreciate your leadership. Thank you very much for that. We're thrilled now that not only do we have a strong program in Louisville, but we have a strong program in Bullitt County that's only in its first year and it's clearly going to get better. And as the judge alluded to around 4 seasons, what we know about working with young people, particularly young people that may have dropped out of high school, is that they're looking for work all through the year, and many of your employers have very strong hiring needs, the seasonal hiring needs in the fall at the warehouse and distribution companies.
So Jennifer and Jennifer are really working with these low-income kids all year long to place them and to coach them. We want to give a special shout out to the Guild Group because they helped take a lot of these kids and then worked with Jennifer to make sure they were getting all kinds of other access to services. So we very much appreciate the leadership. We are off and running already, thinking about 2015, and really the way we'll start counting the numbers, starting in October and November, we'll start counting those kids toward next year's numbers because it really is a year-round effort. Any questions? If not, I just want to, before I leave, I just want to give a shout out. I wasn't sure I was going to be here today, so I didn't have my board members here, but Keith Griffey has been on the board for years, so Keith, thank you to you for your leadership. Rena Sharp is my board chair this year, Bullitt County resident, so we're excited about that. Luann Moore and Tom Kelly, we're all here to help advocate for that, and we really appreciate the partnership with you all about this.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Michael. Thank you so much for being here. Jennifer, thank you so much for your service and for getting these folks into employment, which is very, very important. Departmental reports, we have Director Rowan Hammond with 2 planning and zoning requests. Good morning, Director.
Good morning. Our first case is docket number 2014-20. It's Larry T. Jackson. He's asking to rezone a portion of his property from agricultural to R1 residential. The Planning Commission heard this case on September 11th, 2014. And they recommended to send a favorable recommendation to Fiscal Court because this is an agreement with the adopted comprehensive plan. The general area has become more residential than agricultural.
I was just listening. Ordinance number 14-21, an ordinance changing the zoning from agricultural to R1 residential. The property in question is 3 acres or less located at 1251 Bethel Church Road in an unincorporated area of the county. Be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Bullitt, Commonwealth, Kentucky. In summary, number 1, sets forth the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission, docket number 2014-Z-20, is hereby changed from agricultural to R1 residential. Given first reading at the regular meeting of the Fiscal Court on October 7, 2014, and set for a second reading on October the 21st, 2014.
Thank you, County Attorney. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this zoning request? And we do have Mr. Larry Jackson here with us. I don't think he wants to speak, but he's certainly welcome if he wants. You won't wait for you until There you go. There he is. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition of this zoning request? Opposition of? Larry, thanks for being here, and the next meeting is October the 17th. What is our next meeting? 21st. Okay, and Larry, that's when we'll vote on your request. No public hearing will occur because that's happening now. Thank you, Larry. And Director?
Our next case is docket number 2014-Z-21. The applicant is Cynthia Ray Schroeder. She's asking to rezone a portion of her property from agricultural to R1 residential. Excuse me, the Planning Commission heard this case on September 11th, 2014. They recommended to send a favorable recommendation because there have been major physical, economic, and social changes within the area, and that were not anticipated in adoption of the comprehensive plan, which has substantially altered the basic character of the area around this requested zoning change. The general area has become more residential. There were a couple of concerns and from opponents, and that was the access to the remaining property and whether or not this property was in the flood zone.
Ordinance number 14-22, an ordinance changing the zoning from agricultural to R1 residential. The property in question is 2.95 acres, more or less, located at 1625 Beach Grove Road in an unincorporated area of the county. Be ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Bullitt, Commonwealth, Kentucky. In summary, number 1 sets forth the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in document number 2014-Z21, is hereby changed from agricultural to R1 residential. Given first reading at the regular meeting of the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County on the 7th day of October 2014, and set for second reading at the regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 21st day of October 2014.
Thank you, County Attorney, that was fast. You read it really quickly, very well. Is Ms. Schroeder here? Okay, I think she was. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this zoning request, in favor of? Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition of?
Okay, I have one more thing. I handed out a letter from my office, and I have a couple of items that I want to take out of my inventory and send them to eScrap. There's 2 printers, they're described. One's an HP Desk 712C printer, the other is an HP Desk 6540 printer. Neither one of these printers are working anymore, so Larry Hatfield's going to take them to eScrap.
Is action requested, County Attorney?
You need to vote surplus, it is not.
Action is requested to surplus.
I make a motion to surplus 2 printers that were in planning and zoning department, and they will be sent to scrap. You want the numbers?
We have a motion on the floor, second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Director, anything else?
That's all.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know one more thing. I'd like to remind everybody that our flood maps are changing, and there's going to be a public meeting tomorrow night at the city of Shepherdsville in their city hall. And there'll be members from FEMA there and members from the Division of Water that will be able to help explain any question, or answer any questions you have. And they will have maps there, they'll have computers there, they can bring up your address, show you how your property may or may not be affected by the new flood belts.
And Director, who is wanting to change the flood maps?
FEMA, Federal Emergency Management.
Okay. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah, it's not us. Anything else?
Thank you. Director Stivers. And,
He's not here today, Judge. He's homesick, I think.
He showed some snow.
Director Phillips. Director Hatfield has some reports to give us. Good news.
Good morning.
Good morning, Director Hatfield. How you doing today?
Doing good. Spring night.
How was that household hazardous waste?
Household hazardous waste went fine, and I want to thank Jim Anderson and the detention center, Martha Knox, for the inmates. Everything went lovely. It was cold, but we got through it. Had chicken and Milky Way and Snickers. They're moving the equipment in today. We are, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is your waste tire event. So any of you that have any tires, backhoe size or larger, bring them to me. And we will be 0.7 miles off Buffalo Run. We'll go past Thomas Greenhouse, around the curve on the left. It's kind of secluded area, but it is large enough to get what we want done. And they're moving the heavy equipment in at lunchtime today, so we're scheduled for that. And does anybody have any questions on that or anything?
Okay, are we all clear on where this is going to be? It's going to be off of Highway 480, turn there where the,
Buffalo Run, right there by the Bolero sign.
and then drive back that road
Straight
past past the greenhouse.
And I'll have signs, and we'll be there for 3 days, from 8 to 4. It's in the paper.
And you won't be able to see it from Highway 480.
Right.
That's why I think it's clear about it.
Last time, 3 years ago, we had it where everybody could see it, but dirt's there now, we can't do that, so. I picked the best spot I could get home, Mr. Khan. Any questions? Okay, I'll see you all later. Thank you.
Director Hawkins. Bill, Director Howell. Supervisor Howell.
Thank you,
Good
Judge.
morning, how you doing?
I am wonderful. I'm here today to seek some money for another heat pump here from that I'm here to follow up on our report. At the last court, I reported that we had this leak in our holding tank. And we were good at this. In 2 years, I've never been able to come here and say, hey, we've got something complicated. We got a leak repaired since our last court. Bullitt Contracting has repaired the leak in our cooling tower tank over there. And I filled it up Sunday night about 7:30. We did not have leakage, and now we're down to managing the water state levels. So that's a good thing. So we've got this taken care of, and these extreme bills and water leaks and all that stuff is so far today out of our bills here. We did get it fixed, and we do have a 5-year warranty with this on these repairs. It is still exposed. If you want to look at it, you can feel free to. I'll take a picture of it. It is over there. We're going to leave it exposed probably for about 5 to 6 weeks to just, for my personal satisfaction, make sure that these leaks still come out. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Managers, we're moving on to new business, number 1. Now, Mr. Rippey, correct me if I'm wrong, we are not addressing number 1 in the new business, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Taylor Knox is in agreement with that, correct? Correct. All right, number 2, under new business, action requested on Vector Engineers Incorporated contract. And who wants to speak? Taylor Knox, you want to speak on this? And Rudy, you were involved in this, Director Hawkins, you were involved in this as well, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, Taylor Knox.
Good morning.
What do you have for us on Vector Engineers?
I just sent this over for each of y'all's packet. The price when they came down was $4,075. The other price was $5,825, which the way they're talking is going to be the higher price of $5,000. But the road department has agreed to bring the backhoe, because there's a backhoe rental with the operator on it for $750, which we will deduct that from that cost, whether it be the $4,000 or the $5,000 cost. So we will deduct that $750 off of that bottom line, because the road department will be supplying the backhoe and the operator. What they're gonna have to do is go in and dig out on the other side of that pier support in order to see what is actually under there, if there is anything under there, or any type of support, because they're saying that that is what's causing the cracking, because there is no support for the two, the arch piers to support this stuff on. They also sent the settlement sheet. I think we would probably need to go to the county attorney's office for her to look at this in order,
What is the Vector thing? Did you not send us this one?
no, they just sent me that, yeah, not this. They just sent me that on there. I don't know that much about engineering work, of course, but anytime you've ever received a quote on doing a job, I don't think we pay this type of money for someone just to take a look at it and decide what's got to be done. This is not actually the amount that it would take to fix that, correct?
No, but there is no way to see what is under the ground. They have to dig to see.
Oh, I
what-
understand that.
I mean, so that's, you know, that's what I was told is, they don't know what's there. Obviously, there is a problem, or it would be as much shifting as it is what I know, and probably everyone in here that was around when the jail was built, there's a lot of slate there. So if you've got slate, you've got water, you're not gonna have a firm foundation. So logically thinking, if you don't have a firm foundation, that shifting is going to occur. And with the shifting occurring like it is running up the whole side of the building. It's just not the one area. And it has separated from the building itself. So when you get inside and look out, if you get up on a ladder and look out, you can see all the way through, because it has separated from the building.
Have these people already been there?
Or not?
They came there and did this estimate, yes.
So we owe them already.
Yeah, when they came down and looked, yes. We don't owe them this amount, no. But we do already owe them because we had to have someone to come and look at it.
Do we need to wait for the other two? I mean, put it on for the 21st, or is that, I mean, is that what these things usually call for an engineer to check it out and?
When they built that, they just filled it in with slate. I was over when they built it. And I think when they dig under there, they're not even gonna find
There's
a
not
foot.
gonna, and I can't quote, I don't know that for sure. But when I was there, when you go there, there is nothing under there. It was slate.
I knew that they had to get a feel on that before they
Yeah.
started.
And
There's nothing
They
there.
should have went down with 24-inch or 30-inch footer in there and did it.
They filed bankruptcy, haven't
All right.
Excuse me?
they? They filed bankruptcy.
Oh,
When the building was shot in.
What they'll do, they'll dig it out and determine how much footer we need.
Correct. So when you once they do that, they have to put the footer in once they dig it out.
Go ahead and make a motion on this. I'll make a motion that we approve the Dexter engineer's contract.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Brandon, will you read the motion?
The motion is to approve the Vector Engineers contract.
Any questions or discussion on the motion?
Well, I guess we should state, because they'll have to come back with another work contract.
Is that us too, or you put in language in there over $5,825?
And Ms. Brandon, you want to read the motion?
Yes, ma'am. The motion is to approve the Vector's Engineer Inc. contract up to $5,825.
Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashwell?
Yes.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Judge Roberts? Yes. Motion carried.
Thank you, Taylor Knox.
Thank you.
Number 3 on our agenda, and he is present with us today, as well as Troy Bean. I make a motion to appoint Dan Klein to the Shepherdsville Bullitt County Tourist and Convention Commission. Term to expire September the 30th, 2017. He is going to replace Bernie Gerlach. I hear a second to my motion? Thank you, Bob. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Graham, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Klein, would you like to say a few words on your new
Thank you for the consideration, I'm now your boss straightened up. Well, thank you, I appreciate the opportunity. Troy approached me about the opening when Bernie could not make, and he knows what I love for the county, and when you're approached by someone as a board appointment, it means a lot to you, or it should mean a lot to you to serve your community. It means a lot to me, so this action means a lot to me, and I look forward to working with Troy and the tourism board and for many years to come. So thank you for approaching, and thank you all for your really confidence. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan, for being willing to serve.
Thank you.
Number 4, under new business, I'll make a motion to appoint John Miller to the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission to replace John Anderson, term to expire June the 30th, 2017. John, can I be with us today?
Is this, the one name?
Yes.
There's several John Millers.
There are, yeah.
I'll make a motion to.
I made a motion.
Oh, did you? I'm
I didn't
sorry.
second.
Okay, second.
Thank you, Ruthie. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? And Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, magistrates. Next on our agenda, number 5. Action is requested on resolution number 14-14. Correct?
Yes, ma'am, that was not a mistake.
All right. Approving the application preparation and program implementation services contract with CEDA Incorporated for the Community Development Block Grant Program, CDBG, for the Marvin Avenue Sewer Line Extension / Big Valley Sewer Improvements Project. Action is requested.
I make a motion to approve the application preparation and program implementation services contract with CEDA.
Thank you.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Brandon. Next on our agenda, number 6, action is requested on the contribution agreement with Multipurpose Community Action Agency.
Lisa, was this amount on the budget?
Yes, ma'am. On this agreement, we're just breaking that payment until we pay it off in one lump sum, and we're breaking the payment up into two payments.
I make a motion to,
Approve.
to approve the contribution agreement with Multipurpose Community Action Agency.
Yes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? And Ms. Brandon, you call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, number 7. Action is requested on the MC Consultant Services Incorporated contract.
You all remember when Sarah Harden came in and made a presentation and asked for additional funding to do
motion to accept the MC Consulting Services contract.
A second, we have a motion on the floor. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brand, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes. Motion carries. And number 8, under new business, action is requested on the discrete detection canine services contract.
It says not to exceed 5750. We've got the total amount in the budget between the drug dog and the drug testing, and we know not to go over that, so. Whatever those two are together.
I got the motion on the discrete detection canine services contract.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Brandon, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes. Motion carries. She did, well, we had the sign sheet.
Is that one?
Okay. Well, I have more business.
Happy birthday, Ruth.
The meeting is still in order, so either we can proceed with the meeting or we can adjourn.
I need a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? And Ms. Brandon, you can call the roll.
Yes.